favorite thousand there. Oh, it's live. All right.
Yeah, nah, we live, we good. I'll fix it up. But while you talking, what I'm gonna do is welcome to another episode of Wealth is Gangster. You know what I'm saying? I'm with a guy that I've been watching from afar. This is my first time. Well, no, my second time because I don't know if you remember, we actually met in Killeen was it at the where did we have the little meeting at all the guys like a year or so ago?
Right
Oh no,
on.
it was the
That
brunch. It was the brunch.
that was with Ronnie Russell.
Yeah, the brunch, the breakfast. Yeah, that's where I first seen you at. Yeah.
Right on.
So ever
Right
since
on.
then, I kind of been just like watching you from afar, doing your thing, and from the DJing to everything. And I'm like, oh man, this guy's right here in Central Texas. We got to get him on. You know what I'm saying? So I want
Right
my
on.
Clippers Gangster family to salute and shout out and follow him. Gerald Reddick, let us know about you, and I'm gonna capitalize all that while you let them know a little bit about you, your backstory, just get them know who you are before I get into my questions for the day.
Right on. I'm Gerald Reddick. I'm right here in Bell County, Texas, and I am retired military, married, do have children. They're all grown and gone. But one of the things I'm passionate about is finances, and that's because basically growing up, we didn't always have it like that. And into my adult life, at some point, I did realize that was a calling for me to get involved in financial literacy. So I just took it up on myself to uh, put it in a way that I can share what I learned, my journey, mistakes I've made, but successes I've had with other people, and just put it out there in plain English. And that's really my goal in life, as far as finances go. So my two biggest passions and skills are both business and finance.
And what would you say got you into that? Like, was it like you grew up around a dad and mother, a mother that got you into that, grandpa, or did you just learn that on your own coming up?
Honestly, it was a natural ability to be an entrepreneur. I didn't know it at the time. I was washing cars in my neighborhood. Some friends put me onto it, like, "Hey, man, here's a way to earn, a few bucks." But the problem with that was all of us was doing it, so we were like saturated in our little neighborhood. And so what I started doing was I would walk literally, over to another side. Now I'm from New Orleans, so the area is kind of checkerboarded. Like there's sections of black people, sections of white people, and they can easily be more, really close within blocks. So I would go on a side of St. Charles Street where all the mansions are and the wealthy people are, and I'd be like the only one over there knocking on doors. So I quickly built that business. But from that, it was around the time when hip hop was actually, coming out like that. And I was inspired by DJ Cool Herc and Jazzy Jeff to become a DJ. Like I wanted to do that. So I took car wash money, started buying little equipment here and there, hustle some from family members here and there, but I morphed right into a DJ business. So and then I joined the army when I was 18.
Okay, okay.
So
So what was your first business you got into, or the first investment?
the first business was when I was a kid. I was 16 years old ish, and that was the car wash slash 14 car washing, 16 into the DJ business.
Okay.
But my first military job was definitely in 1990. But my first time investing, man, it was well into my late 20s, and that was with Edward Jones. I, heard a little bit about the Roth IRA.
Mhm.
Wasn't really sure what it was, so I decided, well, what can it hurt to go get information? And I went through probably like a lot of people do, like a few rounds before I committed. I would like
Yeah,
have the meeting, but like not sign the papers yet.
yeah.
That whole I'm gonna think about it. So probably into my late 20s, I would say. I don't even remember what year that was specifically, but I would say probably 2006, maybe, when I jumped on that Roth IRA.
And you start really just messing with and I was gonna get to that, but while we on it, because when it comes to investing, I got chickens, I got bees, I got real estate, I do stocks. So I do a little bit of everything because the way I approach it is to build a nation. And to build a nation, you have, some people specialize in one particular thing or two. And
Hmm.
then somebody like me that understand it all goes together. So you need to have a little bit in everything. That's how I do it. Everybody got different strategies.
Oh
What
yeah.
when it comes to investing, what is your strategy? Because I know, like I said, I really started watching you talk about the trading, and then I know you talk about the index insurance. What would you say your forte is when it comes to investing,
I would say, well,
or what you focus on the most?
oh, I see. I got you.
yeah,
Now I
yeah,
understand what you're
yeah,
asking me.
yeah,
Okay, so I focus mainly on electronic vehicles and tech, right? I do have some oil in my portfolio, but I was thinking, about what's going to be like bulletproof. What's going to be that thing that no matter if we have a recession or depression, what are those things that are on the rise that's going to become prominent in the future? But also, like I have things like Apple, right? They're going to be fine. They got good company fundamentals. They have a good business model, right? So I'm not worried about Apple in a recession. In fact, when they go on sale, I buy some more.
yeah, yeah.
But electronic vehicles is relatively, I wouldn't say that new, but they're getting more and more in the public eye. And if you look around, Tesla definitely put those on the map. Most of us here in America probably like Tesla, but people like Ford and all them are getting in it too. So for me, I'm really paying attention to EV stocks. Neo is one of my favorites. They're a Chinese company actually.
Okay, I
So,
never heard of that one. Yeah, I never heard of that one.
but the other thing was chips, right? So you have things like Broadcom, for example. There's a company in Taiwan, TMSC or something like TMST, I think it is. But I'm just paying attention to like what is that people are going to use regardless, and
Yeah,
what has the potential to grow, and keep growing steadily, So that's the way I look at it. Mostly into tech for me.
yeah, going into the
Mhm.
future, just staying futuristic with it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so what, like, if someone come to you and they got $500, what would you start them off with, or what would you tell them to do with it? Would it be, because I have some people that'll say, if you got that, invest into getting more knowledge. If you only got that, start off investing slow. You can start off buying into a little bit into what you just said. What would be your advice for somebody with something with a budget like that?
I would say with $500, that's kind of limited to what you can do with it. Like it would take a really long time in a stock market, especially as volatile as it is now,
Yeah,
and it is a risk. But I would say $500. I would go for like mutual funds or bonds or something like that. Or I would buy things like, and that's where I started with my Edward Jones. Actually, I was like, new to it. I wasn't about to throw thousands at it for sure.
yeah,
So it was just like, well, I got $100, and so basically you buy a bunch of little like you have pieces of a stock,
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's what those mutual funds and stuff like that is all about, Or you buy like the whole S&P 500 a little bit.
yeah.
So that's how I would do it a little bit, but I would say like talk to these people like Fidelity, Edward Jones, these professional investors like that, and they can help better guide somebody with limited income. And they're pretty conservative too. Like I know Edward Jones, they don't take wild risks, but me in day trading, I take the wildest risk and play with thousands of dollars all the time. But that's me on my own,
Yeah,
but knowing what I'm doing.
yeah,
If you just want a more like a set it and forget it approach, you have like, you know, people like Edward Jones, they can take your money and just, they will recommend, we think you should buy this and this and just let it sit, especially for a young person, but just adding to it as you go. I
okay,
think day trading, it's really for experienced people, and you got to understand what you're getting yourself into because that is very risky, you know.
yeah, yeah.
hmm
And that's what you do, day trading too. You do swing trading, day trading, or what's the other one? Swing
Just
trading.
I just do day trading for myself, right? So it's like this. The Roth IRA for me, and I know when I draw from it, it's going to be tax free. So that's the difference between a Roth IRA and a traditional IRA. If you
Mhm.
have a traditional IRA, those are for like people who just want to put money in it, have a little more flexibility, but you will be taxed on the gains, at the end of that, versus a Roth. Whatever I earn in the market for all those years is all tax free for me, right? So that's more like my set it and forget it. Doesn't matter what the market does. I'm not really thinking about that. I might go and log in a little bit here and there just to say, oh, it's up. Oh, it's down a few thousand. Oh, it's up 10,000. Oh, it's down 10,000 or whatever, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But that's like, you know, the market got plenty of time to correct itself. So I don't stress it. Day trading is more like it's gut wrenching at first because you put, let's say you take $500, right? And I'm going to buy all of the Neo EV stocks I can buy. If you would have bought that last week and look at it right now today, your heart would just be pounding like,
Because
you know,
everything shot down. Yeah, I
it
was.
crashed,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I seen
But,
that.
but I do share that too. Like I've posted that, hey, look, check it out. This is where it's at. It's crashing. So I'm going to buy some stocks down here in day trading.
Yeah,
And then I'm gonna set when I buy them, I'm gonna set automatic sell points up here. I'm gonna walk away from it. I don't sit there all day glued to the stock market. I just see opportunities. I look for trend lines, like what are their average lows, what are their support lines at the bottom, what are their resistance lines at the top. And you know, when I'm looking at the market the way it moves like that, you know, it's kind of like, okay, I'll take some chances to buy down here. When it gets there, it buys, and I know sell it up here and
yeah,
walk away. And it might go down even more. I'll buy more
yeah, yeah,
because if it's crashing, it's a lot of things that affects markets that crash, and it's not just that company per se. It might be what's going on in the world, what's going
yeah.
on politically. It could be some climate issues. You know, it just depends on the stock and you know how it's affecting what companies. But I would say if you only have a few $100, not doing absolutely nothing is not a good call. You're just gonna go spend that money, or you're gonna put it in your savings account, which is not doing anything. But the bank's gonna do something with it. So but you're just getting money in the savings account. So I would highly suggest people to invest.
Okay, and I'm glad you said that because I always tell people it's not no one trick pony. I know guys that's heavy into credit, that's making a lot of money and building an empire, and I got mentors that's never took credit, never deal with banks, and they deal with uh,
Mm.
uh, insurance. They banking through banking, becoming the bank yourself. Like you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
So stuff like that through your insurance plans, where you can take out and you use your insurance plan as the bank. You know, so I understand both sides of it. What side do you fall on? Are you more of a credit guy? Or are you more of a I put up my own money? Do you? I know you talked about insurance before we got on here. Do you do the banking through your insurance? Like what side do you fall on, or is it a little bit of everything?
Well, as far as the way I'm building is that what you're basically asking me?
Yeah,
Like
yeah. How you building your
how
wealth?
am I
Is it
building
more on the
wealth?
credit? Yeah, is it more on the credit, bank loans, this, or is it more on the
Um,
business structure? It might take longer, but I just put my own money behind myself and build it up. You know, so just your strategy on the way you're building wealth.
okay, so I have multiple things I'm doing, right? I have multiple ways that income is coming to me. So and I've studied this too, you know, like looking at the different ways to get money. So one of the ways I am retired military, so one of the ways is retirement income. Okay. And I do get a disability check from the VA. So there's disability income.
Yeah,
Now I signed up, I started looking into affiliate marketing a little bit to get an understanding, and I figured, you know what? Amazon's doing pretty good. So being a DJ and looking at stuff that I think the average person could use, I did sign up for affiliate marketing with Amazon. So when I post links to certain stuff I know DJs use, they'll buy the little cable, whatever. But I've been getting money from Amazon. The other way is I YouTube. So not so much thousandaire yet, but my DJ side, I do get money from YouTube because I have a following from all the DJs that choose to subscribe and watch all these videos, and those ads give me ad revenue, right? The other way, obviously, since I'm a DJ, is business, right? So I definitely have invested heavily into G5 Productions. We're a very lucrative business. I leverage other DJs' talent, so if I'm not there, I can send them out, so I can cover multiple events. or if I'm on vacation, I can still send other DJs to those events. So now I'm making money while I'm not performing,
Yeah.
right? So those are the ways, and I think I oh, and then there's of course investment income. So there's the Roth IRA, and then there is day trading, right? So those are my ways here at the moment. I do have some side hustle stuff I do with live sound, like helping churches install lights or sound systems, or just tune up their existing sound systems. And those come with like a love offering. So that's like, side hustle money. But if I had to pick two main things that are the source of my income, it would definitely be retirement income, business income, um, pretty much, and disability. So that's three. Everything else, it helps. It's that little bit at a time though. But
Yeah.
every little bit counts when it's building wealth.
And that's I tell people that all the time. Like, there's no quick get rich scheme. It's not a microwave thing about wealth. I was just doing an interview last night, and what the analogy I gave them is like, you want to build a mansion and somebody's going to give you a couple bricks a day. Some people will be like, man, I'm not going to do that. It'll take too long to build a mansion if all you giving me is a couple bricks a day, right? So that person in 5 years won't have nothing. But the person that takes those couple bricks and just puts them in place every day in 5 years will have a mansion. So that's how we got to look at it. A lot of people, if it can't happen like this, they like it's not interesting to them. They think it's supposed to come out the sky. so
Yeah.
so when it comes to a mindset, so before I ask you about mindset, do you teach or do you just like what do you with the knowledge and the stuff that you gain? Do you have like courses, classes, or you just do it on personal levels, or because you sound like a teacher to me. You sound like somebody that can actually teach people. So is that something you do, or that's just something you kind of just do with the people that you know?
Actually, it's all like open format sharing, like YouTube. I have some videos there. I do write articles to Your Favorite Thousandaire on Facebook. I do have a few videos there, but I'm more conceptual than anything. So if you and I, like, we met at Ronnie Russell's, brunch right there, then I just shared that little bit right there. But now here we are, we're talking,
Yeah.
and that's the way I do it. Now, when I talk to family members or some random person who finds up on my channel and contacts me, Zoom calls, whatever, it's all personal at that point. It's what are your questions? I can give you what I understand, what I've experienced, what I absolutely know, and nothing else. I don't make it up as I go.
Yeah.
My thing is share my journey, and I've accomplished a lot,
Yeah.
but becoming a millionaire is a lot of work, like you said before. So I'm always excited to say, hey, here are very practical, simple things that I've done that you could do. Like, you have a car, right?
Yeah.
I have a car, and we both pay insurance for our cars. A lot of people get stuck on Big Brain, Progressive, Allstate, and that's good. May the best rate wins when it comes to us as a consumer and good coverage. I
Yeah.
agree. But I'm telling you, I don't just be like, oh, I was with this company for 20 years and I'm never going to change no matter what. If I see an opportunity for another insurance company to provide the same coverage that I need, and I know they're a reputable company and they got a better price, bro, I'm going for it. The money I save can now be invested.
Yeah. Nah, I got
That's how I do it.
No, that's how we should do it on everything. We should not get settled, and I think that's our problem, especially as the community. Because a lot of time when I say our, I'm talking about our community because that's what I focus on the most because we have the least. So you know what I'm saying. It's not
Uh-huh.
such thing. It's just how my makeup is. You know what I'm saying. So I'm just letting you know. So if you ever keep hearing me saying our community, you know where I'm going at. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
we tend to just stay. We get comfortable with a certain thing. And even if it ain't like you said, somebody could have a better deal, but we'll be like, well, I've been with them for 20 years. So what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even my people that got jobs, I'll be like, man, use your job to build up what you're trying to build, just like they using you to build up what they trying to build. Because the day
oh yeah,
the day that they don't need you no more, you'll be gone. And I tell them to try to put yourself in a position where you can fire them before they fire you. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And we should be like that on everything when it comes to insurance. Anything that betters our life, anything that gives us better opportunity, that's what we should be after. But after when it comes to these big businesses, because don't none of these businesses really just care about us anyway. You know,
Well, just to sum up that statement that I made with that, I was with Progressive. I'm just calling it out there. I was with Progressive for a while, right? And when I said, hey, I like your service, I want to stay with you all, but I do have this price over here. Can you match it? I mean, you know, what all the discounts I'm eligible for you to be able to do this. And because they are big business, I think there was just like, no, take it or leave it. And usually that's the case with a lot of big business, unless they have an exclusive discount like your military or you're a student or you're over a certain age or whatever they got, then boom, that's it, no more. But
Yeah,
like, let's say you find a private agent, they're gonna hustle harder for you because they want your business.
yeah,
And not only do they get paid by the people they're working for, but they also get that commission thing. So they want your business. They want as many repeat clients as possible. So what they're gonna tap into is, well, let me call around all these different insurance companies and find out who can give my person here the better rate. They're
yeah.
gonna hustle for you. So I learned that on YouTube.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I tell people all the time, man. Before you get into all that, go to YouTube and University. Then you can. Not saying that don't pay for knowledge, because I'm a person. I pay for extra knowledge and stuff like that, mentorship. But YouTube and University is a lot of stuff there before you can even before you even have to worry about paying for stuff. Just go type whatever you're thinking about, type it in and watch what pops up. You know what I'm saying?
I'm laughing because I'm laughing because I just told somebody, I said, "Man, I got a doctorate's degree at the University of YouTube." I was just joking with somebody, and here you are,
Hey, but
YouTube
it's real
University.
though. It's real though. I tell people that all the time. Like, well, I don't
Yeah.
know, man. Go to YouTube, type it in. I'm gonna probably gonna be a bunch of people that's looking for views, but they're gonna tell you, and you can't, and you pick and choose. You know, it's gonna be some people that's like, whatever. But for overall, it's gonna be some usable information on there that you can take and apply.
Oh,
So
absolutely,
that's,
man.
that's just up to you. Oh, I thought you was about to say something. You said absolutely, but yeah, but what? Go back to mindset. Do you think? Because where you at? Your favorite thousand there, all that didn't just happen. You had that you became that person, right? So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you were just born your favorite thousand there. I don't know.
No, no, not even. Oh, probably your favorite dollar era or something, but not
No, but
thousand there.
but what I'm saying is mentally though, you got to get to a certain point mentally before you can even become what you have became. What, what,
Yeah.
what would you say about the mindset part of what your daily grind is, your daily thought process is? Because I tell people I don't care. I tell people all the time, I'd rather deal with somebody that's broke with the right mindset than somebody with money with the wrong mindset. Because we can get farther with the right mindset, I believe. So what do you think about that when it comes to mindset?
Well, I definitely understand the mindset is very powerful, and mine is just this: I got to get it
Yeah,
right. I grew up where I wouldn't say I was dirt poor. Okay, I at least ate. We at least had. I never had my own room, but we at least, had a place to stay
yeah,
continually as far as I can remember all of my childhood. So it wasn't dirt poor, but didn't have a lot of stuff I wanted. Had mostly what we needed, but not a lot of stuff I wanted. When you go into your first job, like most of us do, young adults, like in the 90s, I would never have thought anything about investing or doing anything to earn income, but just having a job.
yeah,
And so it's typically how most people are raised in school and brought up anyway. And at best, you get told, save your money. But at some point in my military career, I got to thinking, this was probably in my young 20s. I got to thinking, like, man, I got a good job, a steady paycheck, good benefits, but I'm really broke, you
yeah.
know. And it just I just thought about that. I was like, by then I probably been in the army like 10 years,
Yeah,
but I was like, man, I'm really living paycheck to paycheck. Like I know people who are not in the military living like that with a regular job. So I got to the point where I was like, this can't be it. This can't be it. So my first thing was around that time was getting out of debt because that was another part of my problem too, paying all this debt that I got myself, a credit card, two cars, not necessarily a house yet, but just all kind of little stupid credit cards,
yeah,
so it was just ridiculous, man. Like how did I even wind up with all that? It's just crazy. But my first thought was I want to get out of debt. So that's what I was obsessed with. Not saving money, not building wealth, just making sure the debtors are taken care of, right? But then at some point I was like, I feel like something's still missing here. Like I need to save some money because every time I want to do something, I gotta save up to go do it, like a major trip.
Yeah.
Or if something breaks, like my transmission and my engine went while I was in Germany,
Yeah.
well, I had to go get a loan to get that fixed. I didn't have that kind of thousands to fix that.
Yeah.
So I knew, man, I was like, man, I'm doing something here wrong. By the time I was coming up on military retirement, it was like of about 6 years before I was going to retire. I really thought about what was life going to be like when I don't have this full paycheck at the current level of pay that I'm at anymore. And that's when it hit me. I was like, I got to do something. So I did the Roth Ira thing around about that time. And then I was thinking about that TSP, right? So I just put what I could in there and let it ride until the military was over. The other thing I started thinking about was, well, that's cool to be out of debt, but what about building wealth? So it wasn't realistically until after the military
Yeah.
where I really got hot. And it's crazy because in the amount of time from 2010 till now, I got more money that I have direct access to than all of that 20 years in the army.
Yeah.
And so it's only been like 12 years now, right?
Yeah.
But 20 years of getting out the army with 2 car notes, a mortgage,
Yeah.
and about $6,000 in my savings account after 20 years of serving in the military. In 2020 alone, everything was shut down, right? For a
Yeah.
little bit. I made 150K with my DJ business.
Mm.
And at the end of it, by October of 2020, I set a bonus goal to make another 10 grand. And I made it by the end of October. I was like, this is ludicrous.
Yeah.
So the mindset was, I wish I would have been new this, but you know what? That time is
Yeah.
gone and
Yeah.
it's here now.
So,
So now I'm just putting everything that I possibly can that I learned financially into practice. And you got to do the work. So for all my spiritual people, I get name it and claim it, believe it and receive it. But you got to do the work. Like seriously, it's not just some magically just drop it in my lap thing. Is you got to put in work to build wealth, and there's many ways to do it. So if you got a job, that's one way, earned income, right? So my DJ business for me, that's earned income, right? Business or earned income, but because I do the gig and I get a check from it, right?
Yeah.
But there's other ways. You got to invest, and you can't just be stuck on that job thing, man. Like,
Yeah.
that's for people who have high paying positions and you know salaries like that. Okay, got it. But for your 9 to 5ers, you're never going to build wealth just working that job.
Yeah. Never.
Seriously.
Yeah, you'll be in the rat race forever, and it's set up like that, and
Yeah.
like you're saying, that's all we taught. We taught like the one of the biggest things I started CEO Youth League because I'm a sports person. Well, I was a super sports person. Then it's just like I catch it if I catch it. If I don't, it doesn't even affect me. But in the culture, sports is everything, right?
Uh-huh.
So we push 100% of our kids sports, 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 but only half of 1% of those gonna even touch a professional check, right? And even half of that half of 1% gonna end up broke anyway because they not taught about finances. So that's why I started the CEO Youth League because if somebody would have told me when I started running away and I got on that street corner at 11, 12 years old, hey man, like I do kids now, I just talked to a little youngster. He out there doing his little thing. And I'm like, man, let me show you my mentor. He made $100,000 in the stock market. Let me show you, if you want to flip that, let me show you my partners that be flipping houses. Like if somebody would have showed me that at 12 years old, ain't no telling what I would have became. You know what I'm saying? Like I was told, go get a job. If you don't make it in sports, go get a job. Go to the army, and I think that's about it. And it's like it's crazy because it's thousands of ways to be successful, but we only told like 3 or 4 of them. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, yeah.
if we don't make it as an entertainer or athlete, we got to go to college and just hope we get a good corporate job. But like I tell people, most people
Mhm.
don't understand that half of the people with master's degrees still looking for a job. So just getting that degree don't even say you're gonna officially be straight.
Yeah, I get, man, I can't tell you how many times where I think it was around 20, it was 2012, right? One of my buddies, he owned a club. He don't anymore, but one of my friends owned a club. I used to hang out there, whatever. And so I'm literally talking to bartenders with master degrees.
Yeah,
And then if you have enough small talk here and there, you'll find waitresses like that that have bachelors, or you have people that have all these degrees
yeah,
and they can't find the work, or they don't have the work in the actual degree that they got. And so it leaves me wondering at some point, well, let me look a little bit more into all these wealthy people and see what their thoughts and their mindset are. And it's, they don't knock education, but they do consistently and across the board say, um, you're taught to go get an education so you can go get a good job. But
yeah,
I would, but they all say get education so you can put your ideas to work and build wealth. That's
mm,
pretty much in a nutshell I get from every, and it doesn't matter if it's Dave Ramsey or
yeah,
whoever, because going to work to going to college to get a job is just it. You're gonna always help build someone else's dreams. You're gonna get some money for it. Don't get me wrong, but you'll never really truly build your wealth unless you understand how money works. And
yeah,
that's why I read, all these books and watch all these videos, because I'm learning from people who are already there. So I aspire to be where they are. Like,
yeah,
how are they doing it? And you know what? They all say it's work. It is work.
yeah,
It takes discipline, like for the amount of money that I do save, because I need cash to be able to make a move when I see it.
yeah,
But I do invest. And, when you're looking at money available to you, it is very tempting to go buy something,
mhm,
you know. And a lot of people are like, oh, I got all this money, I can go buy that dream car I want. But that's a depreciating thing,
yeah,
you know. Like I would never spend more than 10% of what I have on any car
yeah.
or any just want thing. I have
All
a
right.
budget for entertainment, but at the same time, man, I just put it in perspective. Like, is this lining up with my goals to become a millionaire? And if the answer is no, I just cut it out.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
that comes from a strategy. So you have a strategy on life, and most of us don't.
Mhm.
Like we start off as kids saying we want to be a millionaire. We think it's just gonna come because we're not structured and taught. Okay, if you want to be a millionaire, this is the structure you have to have. This is the discipline you have to have. We're never taught that. Like I was talking to my niece, she want a Lamborghini. How you gonna get a Lamborghini? You can't even keep a dollar in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? But I
Yeah,
see, and like I tell them, I'm the uncle that's gonna come and break down these finances. I'm not gonna come and pick you up for McDonald's and all that stuff. I'm gonna come and give you the hard because you're already gonna be fluttered with that. Everybody gonna, everybody is the, oh, they just kids, this and that. No, they're young adults that need to be the seeds planted right now in their head. And like you said,
yeah,
we didn't know this. Now just imagine if you would have knew all about everything you know now at 13, 14 before you went to the military. You like, no matter what you're doing now, it could have been times 10, times 100 just by older people planting that seed in your head. So that's the vision I be having when I'm planting it now. I don't know, some of these kids are not gonna take on to it right now. Some of them are, but the seeds are planted regardless. And that's what I hear you
mhm.
saying about just getting it out there. That's the game changer right there.
Yep. That's key though, getting the word out. And see, we had an advantage now, right? Because I think back in the 80s, the 70s, even,
The early,
um, I heard a lot in the 90s, even. Man, I heard a lot of the system, the man, the government, like everybody's keeping me down but me. That's what I heard from people, right? It's their fault. It's always somebody else's fault why we're not wealthy. Well, I would never knock that there haven't been systemic things that was done to
yeah,
keep a people down financially and behind the curve.
yeah,
But let's fast forward to 2022 and what's out there.
yeah,
What Grant Cardone knows, and he's a big real estate mongol, right? What he knows is in his books. It's on YouTube.
yeah,
What Dave Ramsey knows is in his videos. with all these wealthy rich people, they put it out there. So now we can't keep stuck. Since you said mindset earlier, we can't stay stuck on I can't get it. Nobody's holding you back but you.
But you,
So if it's something that I'm failing at financially, that's on me now, because nobody's in charge of my success but me.
but you,
And
yeah,
I choose to learn, implement those things that I've learned. And as I become more and more successful with those, I just share it, man. And it's just the little tips on, it's little moves, right?
yeah,
All, like you said, building a mansion, it's not just bam, here's a mansion. It's a nail, it's a brick, it's two bricks, some more here, some wood. It's everything, but it's a process. It doesn't just pop up.
yeah,
So building wealth doesn't just pop up either. You have to learn as much as you can about how money works. And I would say if I had to give anybody, especially a young person, like you're just starting out in life, or even if you're 16 and you got your first job or whatever,
yeah,
budget is so powerful. Like budget, I know sometimes certain wealthy people don't like that word budget because it sounds like living with limitation.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But I look at budget as accountability and management of money. So if you know how to budget, then you can say, here are my responsibilities I gotta take care, and you should be at the top of all of it.
yeah,
Pay yourself, pay your bills,
yeah,
set some money aside for entertainment. But you have to budget for it, and then you have to be disciplined to stay within the budget. Because if you don't stay within the budget, what you're going to do then is be undisciplined and whip out your credit cards,
yeah,
and now you're digging that little hole, and so you just created a new bill with all your other existing bills, and you can forget paying yourself out the window, because if you blew your budget, you already tapped into your little savings,
yeah, yeah,
and then when that ran out, you whipped out your credit card because you're impatient and you can't wait. You
yeah,
will never build wealth that way. Stick within your budget, and look, and budget also gives you the ability to see opportunities. Like if I know my grocery bill was extremely high, I can look at, well, what am I buying at the grocery? Some things are fixed. Your car note, your certain bills every month going to be fixed amounts. But it's like, man, let's look at these lights. Are we sure we have all the energy saver stuff here? Turn these off when they're not being used. So budgeting makes you see where you can adjust. You
mhm.
know,
And
After that, budgeting, saving, investing. That's really has been my formula.
yeah,
Budget, save, invest.
but
Period.
invest, and I mean that's the course within itself right there. People need, and it sounds simple, but obviously it's not. It's a 1% for a reason. You know what I'm saying? It's not
Yeah,
everybody can do it. Everybody can. Everybody got access to do it, but only a small percentage of the people going to actually do it. That's why I tell people all the time. Well, it's hard as this. Okay, well, that's why it's called the 1%, because only some people gonna do what you need to do to make it. And like when you were talking about like car notes and all that stuff, everybody need a car, but know where you at that point in time, right? And that's where I'm at. Like, okay, if I can, if I want a car, my partner just got a new car. He might be in a better position in life for me. Maybe instead of me getting that car note, I need to just take my little couple thousand and go get me something that I can pay for cash and run with that for another year or so. It's okay,
uh-huh.
it's like just knowing where you at. But a lot of people would just be like, I can't really afford it, but I'm gonna just do this little $300-400 a car note. No, you should have took that $2,000 and bought you something used that you could have had paid cash on, and then wait your time. Don't be jealous because he's riding around in 2022. He might have did some take care of his business the last 5-10 years that puts him in that position. So
Yeah,
and that's what I try to tell people: stay where you at, live within your means, and run your race. You know what I'm saying? Like when I
absolutely.
like I don't. Well, I'll be around millionaires and all that. I don't feel no certain type of way. I know I got I just got to keep learning the knowledge and keep doing what I do. But I'm running my race. I'm not in competition with the next person, because how can I be in competition with you? You just told me some stuff that I need to do. So how I'm gonna be like matching myself up to be your favorite thousandaire, but I haven't put in the same work that your favorite thousandaire have put in. You know what I'm saying? So why would I expect to be on that same level? And that's how everybody needs to look at it instead of being like, oh man, I want what he got. I can barely afford it, but since he got it, I'm gonna shine too. Nah, it ain't your time to shine. Stay in your little raggedy little hoopty for another 6 months and keep building up. And that's okay. Because I know some people that was in the hoopty 6 months ago that's richer than the person that's been looking rich for the last 5 years. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
so running your race, and that's key.
You know what? I get there's some wealthy people, they're like, well, I got it so I can, and they will, right? But then you have some wealthy people who are a little bit more modest. So, when I study into like people like Warren Buffett, he has like a average residential home, and he's a billionaire, so he can buy whatever, but he's one of the things he said was, well, this is where I feel like home at. This is where I feel comfortable at. Like, it doesn't matter what other people think about how I should live.
Exactly.
This is where I can lay to rest and chill and, be all right in peace, But if I got all this big, and I love how Warren Buffett just lays it out, he just basically saying that if I got all this big old stuff, like I'm old, then I gotta have all these strangers around me to maintain it and try to trust people and worry about this, worry about that, and
Yeah.
I don't have time for all that.
Yeah. He's
This
keeping
is
it
simple.
simple.
I can, and it makes sense. So I figure, when it comes to trying to keep up with other people, if I had to say that to young people, just don't.
Yeah.
Like, really just have a plan and do what works for you, because not everything works for everybody, and different people are on different levels. Like, if you're looking at your parents even, and they're living nice, and you see mom and dad go out all the time, well, they're probably have been working years, got some savings, they're established in life. But you can't really do that with your Starbucks job, trying to keep up with mom and dad going out every weekend. You'd blow your whole check easy eating out like that, you know.
Yeah.
So just have a budget, get yourself to a place of savings. When you get to enough savings where you got, living expenses, save up for emergencies and stuff, then start investing.
Yeah.
And investing is what's going to take care of your long term, like your future, because just savings alone just gives you the ability to have access to money, but investing multiplies that money
Yeah.
over time. It's not quick. It multiplies it over time. Business can be a little quicker for you depending on the type of business.
Yeah.
Like in my case here, I did stop the DJ thing cold turkey once I joined the military, right? But after the military, I was sitting around one day thinking, by then I had got into a recording studio, music recording. But I was sitting around thinking, like, man, I can't get no clients to be serious, and I love making music, but it's not paying anything.
Yeah.
So I decided, well, let me get back into DJing, and so in investing in that, about $7,000, bought some equipment. I made that money back fairly quickly. So in that case of investing, it was a quick turnaround because it wasn't hard to make $7,000 as a DJ. Now my average event that I charge DJing for is nearly $2,000. So if I just did that 3 weekends in a month, I'd be at 7 grand without question. So imagine all them years I've already made that 7 grand back and then some, investing in new. So see, I keep throwing out that word investing, earn some money, save some, invest in new equipment, more capabilities, and there we go.
Expanding it. You got to keep investing in the business to keep the business growing.
Yeah.
And I love that story because at first I thought you just DJing, but you actually have built the DJ business brand, like, and that's cool because you started off DJing. So for you to come full circle and just go from personal DJing to now have a DJing, empire basically. I'm building my own DJ empire.
Yes,
What
sir.
what I because you don't meet people that kind of do that. Like, so how did you get into that? How do you go from being a personal DJ into, I'm just gonna have a whole empire that's built on DJing?
Well, it's another one of my passions. It's music. As a kid, it was there. In the military, it was just my primary job was soldiering. So that was on and off here and there. But to when I got out the military as a mechanic, I had to really think about, like, well, what do I love? And it was still music.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter if I was doing live sound or helping somebody put on the show or volunteering at church at live sound or DJing. But I thought, man, this DJ thing, like it could really be a thing because I do love to put music together and push it out there. And the DJ business seemed like a thing. Now, in comparison to all the other DJs that I know at that time in 2009 here in Texas, it was cool. We were all leveling off at about an average of $100 an hour. So we were all making approximately $500. But in 2014, I attended my first bridal show in Austin. And when I met those DJs and saw what they was charging in Austin,
You're like, I'm crumbing
I
myself.
came back and immediately changed my prices, not to what they were charging, because I knew I would just cut my whole market off here. But I did raise my price.
Yeah, you know,
And
you was leaving something on the table. You leaving some money on the table. You had to get up.
yeah, but I also had to change my marketing when I did that. So it was like, okay, if I raise the price, I'm gonna lose a lot of customers locally. So I got to make people know who I am. So I was using Facebook. Finally, eventually put up a website, and slowly but surely, networking. That was another powerhouse of increasing business. Knowing people who can pull you into places you can't get into. So you got wedding planners, venue owners. You're making friends with florists, and you're building teams of people around you. You know what? It's a lot of people out there that really push my DJ company a lot.
Yeah,
Like I get a lot of military balls because of people like Let Us Do the Cooking. They're a major catering company here locally,
hmm,
but they do a lot in Austin and everything. But they have access to those meetings, and they get with them before they get with me, and they say, "Hey, G5's your person." When the
yeah,
military looks on the website and they see a whole page of, "Hey, military, this is what we do for the military," they're
yeah,
like, "You're hired." A
yeah,
person told me about you guys. The facility where you're going to have your event told them about us, and you see the website that caters to y'all. It's a
yeah,
no-brainer. So we do that in the wedding industry, making network connections, and it's just really a lucrative business. It is a six-figure business for me.
yeah, man. That's
Yeah.
dope, man. That I just love, I love the vision, and that's what got you from there. Is did you start? What got you in the trade? So you started making. You had your DJ business going on. You was doing that, and did you just wake up and like? So you was buying stocks first and stuff, or would you start trading first, or how
The
did all that come together?
the very first thing was me sitting down with Edward Jones, and that was really basically me just like giving them the money, and they told me what they were going to invest in, so I
Yeah,
was just giving them the money, and they would buy the, mutual funds and the bonds and government securities and capital world growth stuff and whatever, right? But that was just me saying, "Here's the money, and you buy it." So I know what they were buying, right? But for me to personally take advantage of it, I did get to a point around 2020 where, excuse me, a fellow DJ of mine, right, one of my DJs was rocking with me, called me and said, "Hey man, you got Weeble yet?" And I was like, "What's that?" "Oh, it's a day trading platform, blah, blah, blah." And then he started telling me about EV stocks and some startup companies and this. Now, I didn't know what all the stuff was, but I thought, you know what? Everything's on sale right now anyway,
yeah,
because we're in a pandemic and all the stocks crashed, right? And so one of the first ones I did was like, wait a minute, I may not. I'm gonna catch up with what Dylan said with all the EV stocks and stuff like that, right? But I was like, these cruise ships are like totally shut down. So I started looking at them, and I even asked Edward Jones. I said, "Hey, who are you guys looking at right now to invest?" They was like, "Well, the cruise ships are shut down, so Royal Caribbean's one, and their shares are $29. But before the pandemic, when everything was normal, their shares were like $156 or something like that, right?"
yeah,
So I just bought a. So in Edward Jones, I bought a bunch of it. It was, I was like, "Buy me those."
yeah, yeah,
They jumped up to about $80, fell back down to about 60 ish, right? So I called my dude. I said, "Hey man, sell half of Royal Caribbean for me and buy Apple stocks." So that was my introduction into Apple stocks,
mm,
right? Now this is all inside of Edward Jones, so it's like once I make those moves, I can't just jump when I want to and like, oh, there's an opportunity, get it. It's got to make a meeting, appointment,
So,
whatever.
yeah.
So I thought when Dylan told me about Weeble, I started an account. And so now here comes I'm scared, I'm nervous, and I'm like, well, I already got these things sitting in Edward Jones. I'm good. Most of those stocks are kind of up there now, so I ain't gonna buy those. But I was looking at these EVs, and I've done a lot of YouTubing and research and reading, and I was like, that makes sense. That if Tesla's out there getting it how they're getting it, there's bound to be some other companies starting to stand up. And one of the biggest rivals to them right now is Neo in China,
Mm.
and they are backed by the Chinese government. And I was like, so imagine buying those at $11 a share or whatever. They jumped all the way up to 40, crashed back down to like in the 20s right now.
Yeah.
So I'm just watching these stocks bounce between $11, $18,
Yeah.
17, $24, $18,
Yeah.
$20. So guess what I'm doing? Buying, selling, buying, selling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Buying.
You're
So
just cashing out. You're just getting that piece of it.
yeah, and then I have like marijuana stocks. They're fairly cheap right now. So I think the thing that would like boost all those if they just go ahead and flat out make that federally legal, it would just like
Yeah.
it would just be off the chain bananas. But I just buy little stocks like that. But I have a lot of stocks, man. I got thousands of dollars in Weeble. And I just posted that. I was like, hey, I was in New Orleans, um, and I did some, buying and selling, and I raised enough money to pay for the hotel while we were
Oh
out there.
yeah, I see you say
I
about
was
that.
just
You
like,
like, yeah, but you
well,
said
we did that.
my trade pay for this or something. But yeah, but
And guess what happened right after that, though?
what? Shot,
Crash.
yeah.
That
But
$34,000 is now down to about, I think, 28,000 right now.
yeah.
But I don't panic because I understand every stock. I got some Tesla, some in Weeble. I got Tesla, Amazon, Regis Finance, some other free bank stock they gave me when I signed up. I don't know. Um, and yeah, Tesla, Amazon, Neo, and two bank stocks. So I'm messing around with like 5 or 6 stocks right now in Weeble,
Yeah.
and it's mostly red except for the bank stocks. But guess what? I know when it crashed, I buy. If it crashed some more, I buy because you know what I know that it's going to do? Come back up. And
Yeah.
as it comes up, remember them 100 I bought down here? Sell them up here.
Yeah.
Remember them hundreds I bought down here? Sell them up here. Sell them up here. But I got some stocks that I will hold regardless of what the market does. So it's a foolproof plan for me, and it's been making money. So even though the markets crashed and the valuation of the stocks crashed, I got cash on deck inside of Weeble to buy more.
Yeah.
So and that's how I micro build that up. So look for long, probably sometime next year. It'd be probably 50,000 or more, maybe, right?
Yeah.
But that's what I do, man. So
nah, this is dope, man. And like I said, I wanted to bring you on because I've been watching you from afar. I'm like this interesting, and like I say, this is gangster to me. The conversation we have is the most gangsterous conversation ever. And this is what I like to put my youth in front of, these type of conversations where they can see that this is cool. This is hip. This is whatever you want to call it. Whatever word they got going on these days. This type of talk needs to be the new normal. You know what I'm saying? And so that's my mission. That's my goal. And linking up with people like you, like I said, even outside of this, I want to get with you and get some game on taking my next steps. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I'm into stuff. I'm kind of like I'm a crazy investor, right? I don't, I've been doing it for so long, been running businesses and stuff so long. I always tell people I'm the type of investor that'll jump out the plane and worry about the parachute on the way down. Like I don't really overthink it. Like if you tell me, man, this is like an opportunity, I already know it's an opportunity I can lose. So I don't even worry about that. If I feel it, I go with it. That's just the way I do it. I don't like, I done took losses, I done took wins. That ain't no problem because I know it's a part of the game to me. Everybody is different. Everybody not built like that. So I tell people all the time, don't run with my strategy because it ain't built for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. One thing I definitely do though, man, like in anything I invest, I do very well understand company fundamentals, meaning like do they meet their quotas? how are they earning capital, or are they losing capital? Are they in constant lawsuits?
Yeah.
Are they having too many recalls, or or are they looking at some kind of controversy? So I do look at the company finances,
Yeah.
and I don't worry about people like Apple. Seriously, I really don't worry. Apple could be up, down, but they're steady, going. But they're not as wild swinging as maybe marijuana is just like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
or EVs right now is just like, all it takes is a headline like U.S. and China got some kind of tensions, or the
Mm.
war in Ukraine happened that affected so much stuff because
Yeah.
we get a lot of stuff from Russia, for
Uh,
example, right?
yeah.
Baltic birch wood, stuff that goes in chips, neon, a big portion of that comes from, so like I understand these things very well. If I had to encourage a young person though, like if I had to say something to a young person, hey, look, I'm 19, 18, whatever. I'm
Yeah.
just starting life. I may or may not live with my parents, but I have a job. Do yourself a favor, open up a Roth IRA and start with at least 50 bucks. If you could afford $100 per month, just do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I promise you, you can look this up on any retirement calculator.
Yeah.
You can say, my parents are 40, and what does it take them to put in a Roth IRA until they're 65? How much will they have? Do that. And then do you at age 19 or 20, how much if I put $100 in a Roth IRA until I'm 65, how much will I have?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do that. It take you less but longer. It
Yeah.
take us way more. And what set of parents, on average, have? I think the max you can put in over age of 50 in a Roth IRA is like $7,000. So what one single parent, that's per adult, right? So
Yeah.
what single parent make enough money in a year where they can say, well, here's $7,000,
To put it.
regularly
Yeah.
to a Roth IRA. And then when you turn 70, you have to start taking money out of it or you'll be penalized for it.
Mm.
So as a young person, you can do less but longer.
Yeah.
And as you improve in life, you go from the 9 to 5 to a better paying job, put more.
I put.
Because you're not stuck on an amount that you have to put into your Roth IRA every month. If you're not doing so well one month, don't put anything.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you get a better job and you can do from 100 to 300, do 300. But you got to do it because it's going to secure your future. Because what you also have to consider as a young person is, if you look at your grandparents or your grandparents, and you're looking at things like how they taking care of their health. Military folks, they're good. They got the VA, they get the benefits, whatever. I'm talking about people who haven't retired for the military. If you're looking at your grandparents, and your parents, how are they holding up financially? How are they holding up with health care?
Yeah.
Do they need family help? You know, can they afford health insurance? And stuff like, and let alone life insurance, right?
Yeah.
So these are things you as a young person, I encourage you to look at for yourself. Roth IRA, start it off, do something, and before long it'll just be a habit. The money's out of sight, out of mind, and you secure your future anyway. Worst case scenario, you're setting yourself up for success.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the worst case scenario.
You blow it all right now
Yeah.
because you just want to ball out and live, and you got your stuff and your things. They indicate this shirt, I'll have to get rid of it one day. It'll, get old enough or too small, whatever, fade. I'll have to throw it away. The Jordans, they get creases too, right? They get dirty too.
Yeah.
So just saying.
And I love, because my main thing is people always tell me, well, I don't have money to do it, right? So I always try to, well, I don't try, I combat that with, okay, how many times have you went to McDonald's this week? Well, 5 or 6. Okay, from now on, just go 3. Those other 3 times, start saving that. So I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear you don't got the money, and I don't want to hear about what if the stock market crash. Because if you take the money that you already throwing away, you ain't got to worry about no crash because you losing it anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it's those type of things that I be working on to combat those work. Those phrases that people always come back. It's really a way to not invest, But when I hit them with that, they don't even have nothing to say because I'm telling you to take money that you already throwing away, and then don't tell me about no crash because you're not worried about no crash when you go spend it at the mall or at McDonald's or something. So
Hey
those two,
man, in 2020, everything crashed. You if you had a job, a lot of a lot of people jobs crashed.
yeah, yeah,
And businesses crashed, and some businesses couldn't bounce back. So if you happen to work for one of those businesses,
yeah,
you automatically had to find another job.
yeah,
You know, in 2020, I think it's a definite good wake up call. And fortunately for me and my wife, in 2020, we our home was already paid off. Right, that's a whole nother story.
yeah,
But we basically, I think, took about a year and 10 months to pay off $105,000 on the principal, and
yeah.
we just knocked it out.
Man,
So
I see.
and
That's the way you do it, man. I
and
see.
so for us, man, by the time 2020 happened, we wasn't sitting around waiting for a stimulus check. In fact, when we got ours, I forgot I had it and left it on my desk for like 2 weeks
And that's the way.
until somebody else started talking about stimulus.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's where you want to be. Like
That's
you
where you
want to have that financial freedom, that security, that ability to, you know, enjoy life. Let your golden years be your golden years. So if you're a young person listening to this, I can tell you from firsthand experience, like the right sacrifices right now will only allow you to do a lot of the stuff you really want to have the freedom to do later. But
yeah,
there's a process to it, and there's a method to it, and you know, be you'll never be financially set if you don't take the little micro moves and disciplines right now. See, you're young, you can work, and so you got to set up a budget and you got to make a way to invest for your future. But you start to increase, and as you save up, you get disciplined and used to saving up for stuff instead of totally dependent on the credit card.
yeah,
And I ain't saying you don't need one or shouldn't have one, because hotels, when you check in, or rental cars, they want you to have a credit card, right? So, but there's even a way to hustle with those,
yeah,
right? My credit card right now, I have over $1,000 in credit card points, right? Basically, I use my credit card for almost everything. I get those points, and I pay it off in full before every billing cycle date, before every due date. Excuse
yeah,
me, right? So I never pay interest on my credit card. It's at something like 13% or something like that, right? Some people's credit cards are worse, 16%, 26%, whatever.
yeah,
But I don't get charged interest. I think the banks know that a lot of people are not disciplined with credit cards.
yeah,
So you may get the points, but if you just pay that minimum payment, you got like 100, 200, 300, they're going to charge you interest on that balance.
yeah,
So the right way to hustle with credit cards is get one that gives you cash back, use it, pay it off quick, and it's the same as you using your cash to pay for what you want,
yeah,
except using the credit card to pay for what you want, get some cash back, and then take your cash and pay your credit card off to avoid any interest, right? So there's so many ways, and I forgot about that in all my money making thing,
yeah, yeah,
right? I didn't even mention that, and then that's taxes, so I'm not going to get into that. But
yeah.
if you're a business owner, learn the tax codes. There's opportunity there for you. You
Yeah,
can pay this much tax or pay this much or none. I don't pay none. I'm a DJ business with 6 figures a year,
that's
right?
what's man. It's so enlightening, and like I said,
Yeah,
I don't want to hold you because I can. They people always tell me like I'm not. It's like super religious or nothing, but they tell me you're a preacher when they get to talking about business and money because I can talk all day when it comes to this. It's just I don't know. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? Like I can
right
literally talk
on.
about this stuff all. I'm like a nerd when it comes to about this type of information. But like I say, but where I come from, this is like some square stuff. So that's why I enjoy bringing this quote unquote square stuff, which really, see, next month I got a book coming out called The Streets Lied to Us. So that's another venture that I'm going on a juvenile detention tour when I'm talking to these kids about
Right on, man.
what we think is real, what you think is hip. Because I know I thought that stuff was real. I thought this was gangster. I thought that, and I have to realize, but they need to see somebody that lived it to say, man, that's a lie, that's a fraud. What this man is talking about is the most gangster stuff you could ever even imagine. You know what I'm saying? You over there talking about this and that. You're not worried about no feds kicking in your door. You're not worried about none of that stuff. You wake up every day talking about big business, thinking about how you can expand your empire. That's gangster. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
love you, man. And what I want to do is I want to definitely like link up with you outside of this. You know what I'm saying? For things that we could do together, because I do all kind of events for these kids and stuff. Like, so I'm always doing events and stuff like that. Plus, I want to holler at you about some stuff I need to do personally. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh yeah, man. Let's do it. I'm all for it, man.
yeah, I definitely want to connect on you on that. But before we get out of here, I want you to tell us all the social sites where they can reach you, how they can get to you, the website. Give us that. And then I'm gonna get the information to you so I can put it in the description on YouTube too. But for right now, just give them all your social platforms, how they can reach you or how they can follow you.
Okay. Well, if it's for DJ, G Fire Productions is it. If it's for finance and business tips, questions, and stuff like that, Your Favorite Thousandaire is on YouTube and Facebook. I answer pretty much all of any comments anybody posts on my videos on YouTube. And I definitely, if anybody message me through Facebook, I will respond to you there as well. So other than that, that's the most prominent way to catch me and ask a question or something like that.
All right, well, I'm about to subscribe now. So on your YouTube channel, do you do like weekly shows, or do you do like stuff like this, or you just do it spur of the moment when you're feeling it? How do you do your YouTube channel?
It's actually pretty spur of the moment. I have to pick those back up.
Yeah.
So I do write a lot more on Facebook though. I write articles like if I have a thought that's that I think is worth sharing that can inspire somebody financially, I will write those on Facebook. So it's kind of like my way of writing a book because I can refer back to all that I wrote, just download it right quick, page it, have some editor page it together, and
Yeah.
boom, there's a book, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's the quickest way for me to share something that I think is worthy to be shared, right? So that's pretty much it, though, as far as how you contact me with those kind of questions. Hit me on Messenger on Facebook,
Yeah.
or hit me in a comment on one of those Thousandaire videos. But the videos, I can tell you this much though, the videos that are out there on Thousandaire right now, which is probably 6 or 7 of them, they're very powerful.
Okay.
Probably the most prominent one right now is Are You Recession Proof? Because I put that video out in 2020 when we was headed for that recession. We got out of it, and guess where we are right now today? Another recession.
Yeah.
And all of that information still applies right now.
Wow.
So check out that video. Are You Recession Proof?
Yeah, I'm gonna subscribe and check them all out. And my final question for you: what's your vision? What do you see? Everything you're doing, what do you see in the next 3 to 5 years? What's your vision for everything that you got on the table right now?
In 5 years, I'll definitely be a millionaire. Probably more like 4 or 3, but I will definitely, without question, be a millionaire because I have a plan.
Yeah.
I'm seeing it through year after year since 2020.
Execute.
And I'm excited to share that as I get closer. So when I get there, everybody will know it. And everybody's always welcome to ask, what am I doing along that journey? So when I put it out there, it's always Your Favorite Thousandaire because I'm not a millionaire yet.
Yeah.
Let's go on a journey. Let's get rich together.
Yeah.
That's my thought process. But as far as my vision, definitely a millionaire in 5 years. I'm definitely going to have at least more videos on the Thousandaire. And as far as the DJ business side of that, that's mostly for DJ stuff. So I won't talk about that much here, but I'm probably going to break open at least another 10,000 subscribers there by then, easy, because it's building. But on this, I'm excited, man. This whole idea, and I did ask 2 sides of my family were there any millionaires in our family? And everybody says no. We have people in our family that are doing okay. You know,
Yeah.
they got it to be
Yeah.
all right. But I was trying to find who the millionaires are. So probably going to be one of the first in my family. You know, let somebody beat me to the punch. But as far as my understanding is, they're all looking at me like, "Are you there yet?"
Yeah. Come
I'm
on now.
like, is anybody else already there yet? So I
Yeah,
can tap into what they got, and, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
So
You the
so
pot.
it's a lot of eyes on it, and more than I know. Like people like you to come back like this,
Yeah.
you know. But I am focused, and I'm not just talking to talk. I am literally walking it.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
putting in the work.
for sure.
It's grind, it's hustle. You know, you gotta get out there and get it. You know, in your business, investing, saving, sticking to that budget. You know, staying on my other hustles. You know, like it's work,
Yeah. It's not.
but it's all worth it. It's definitely not overwhelming, and I'm just looking forward to get there because I know if I can get there, I think I can really inspire other people who they just need that little nudge.
Yeah.
And it's one thing for all of us to see the superstars, you know, Rihanna and Michael and, you know, all these people we love on TV. And, you know, it's cool to see them do it. But like when you got somebody a little bit closer and personal to you, like, man, I saw them like how they did it,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and I'm doing that now, or I have the capability to do that, you
Yeah.
know. I want young people to get it. I think people my age, it's a little harder to talk to some of them because they're kind of set a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah. He's
You
stuck in
know,
that way.
so they're kind of like, yeah, I get it, I hear you, but you know, I'm cool. Like especially retired soldiers, man. It's just like whatever, man. I got my disability, my social security check. I just don't do nothing else in my retirement check, and I'm
I'm
good.
good. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I was like, I could do that too, but I'd be stuck at like 10. What is it, about 10 grand, 8 to 10 grand a month?
Yeah.
Man, I
Why would?
could make triple that. Like getting out there hustling and DJ business. Like, nah, man, I'm trying to be a millionaire. Like, that's cool if you just want to sit back and ride on. Like, hey, hats off to you, man. Like, that's totally secure, comfortable.
Yeah.
You can pay your bills, ball out, Starbucks every day, whatever you're into.
Yeah.
But me, I'm just trying to like be on such a level, man. I'm trying to bring like a whole bunch of people with me, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
come on, let's all go get it, man. Because you know
But
our ancestors missed out, so I want us to get it. You know.
you know what you're speaking of though. They're speaking of just individual. I'm cool. You're speaking of legacy. You're speaking of impact. And see,
Yes.
that's what I tell people. I'm more focused on like I could be cool if I wasn't so ambitious and didn't want so much. I could be just cool. But now I keep myself in troubled waters because I'm always putting out. I'm always going. I'm always this. I don't know no other way. I cannot be just comfortable, cool. My life, that life to me would be miserable to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, but some people be like, man, that's too much for what you got going on. I ain't trying to do all that either. So, you know, like I said, that goes back to mindset. But definitely, what you're speaking of more of a legacy, more of an impactful thing. You know what I'm saying? And most people just not there. And like you said, it's cool. That's not you. That's cool. You know, whatever. You know that. But I think the more we normalize what you're saying, especially introducing it to the younger, when they hear somebody talking like that at 10, 11, I ain't hear nobody talking like, well, this conversation we just had, I could never heard that when I was 10, 11. All I heard was some crazy stuff in the hood or some rap stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever. But it wasn't talking about nothing we just talked about. So that's my whole goal to do, man. So I appreciate you. I don't want to hold you up, man, but I appreciate you coming on. I really would like to have, I don't know, a segment or a day we sit down and just go over certain topics. This one was like more of an introduction. I wanted my people to just get to know you, know what you're doing, and then the next time we chop it up, or if I come on your channel, you know, if you're gonna start doing stuff on your channel, and we can just politic and just keep the knowledge, keep that back and forth going, and I come on your channel, keep building and just helping each other build. But I definitely watching you grow, and I'm definitely following you, and I'm definitely, but now I'm even want to go even further. Now I want to tap in with you. I don't want to just watch you on Facebook and see what you're doing and admire you from a distance. Now I want to tap in and be like, hold on, man. Homie, the one gave me a couple pointers too. I'm right there with him. You know what I'm saying? I'm rocking with the favorite thousandaire. We need your favorite thousandaire shirts and hats and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we gotta do it.
I tell you what, man, when I get to a millionaire, I'm gonna be on that because I'm not a billionaire yet, man. I'm just like,
yeah.
I'm just trying to go for it, man. But more so, I really want other people to grab on and just like, let's go, And I'm really rooting for the young people because, man, when you think about it, man, these young people are so resilient, like they're really brilliant,
Yeah.
And if they could get past like this mindset thing of like everybody owes me, like your parents spoil you to death and whatever, like get that out of your head. Like you got to put in work. You got to, you can only ride so much of your parents' coattail, right? So I'm just hoping that like they really get out here and get it, man. I want to see more people in our community successful, just building wealth, being able to enjoy life later, and not just be work, die, like screw that, man. Them days are over with.
Yeah.
There's too much knowledge out here to not do better.
Yeah. And what I keep going to, making it normal. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just like I had a parent tell me, they were like, I don't know what you're doing with my kids, but I love it because I walked in the room and they're in there playing like they owning a business. My kids ain't never played like that. Like, kids be in the room, some might be cussing, fussing. Kid ain't no telling what a kid doing in the room when the parents around. The parent came to me, I don't know what you're doing with my kids, but I love it because I snuck up on them. They in there talking about, no, this is my business and you owe me this for my kids ain't never played like that. That's the impact that I'm after right there. That just right there, it gave me chill bumps when she told me that. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. Make that normal. You know what I'm saying? Instead of they doing something they seen on YouTube or something they seen on movies, playing that out and that turned into whatever it turned into. Yeah, I want her kids. Are they playing like they own a business? Well, like this right here, you see the painting right here?
Yeah.
This painting, this is my 12-year-old Raya. She paints these, and these go for about $60 to $75. Right now, she's making money.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, this is a side note, man, but did y'all link up with Luvina yet and see about maybe getting a slot in the all natural hair and health expo? We'll talk offline about that.
I don't even think I heard about that. So
we have there's two annual events. One's Taste of Africa, the other one's All Natural Hair and Health Expo, and then there's also a Veggie Fest that happens annually in the Civic Center.
Okay, yeah.
Right, and so all these vendors be there, man. You have everything from food vendors to soap, selling dashikis. There's some artists sometimes they're selling paintings or whatnot. Yeah. But like those are a good place to tap in and help market those, because the idea with that kind of talent, man, is like it has to get out there, and go digital too. Like get those kind of, here's a photo, put it in good lighting, but on a stand, take the photo, get the next bit, and put these things out in a format digitally.
Yeah,
with the pricing. Are y'all already doing that?
No, not digital. We're just selling these. I was telling her that we need to do, because like right that one go for like $60, right? But I told her if we do prints, then we can sell the prints $10, $20. So some people, you can have somebody that bought the original painting, then you can have prints of that original painting and still make money off that same drawing. So right now we just in the beginning stages of it. But this is just the concept of what I'm saying when I tell these kids that you're so powerful right now, because a 12-year-old selling these paintings, I done bought stuff from kids that I ain't never even used just because it was a kid selling stuff.
That's an advantage, man. Look,
advantage, you know what I'm saying?
Adults gonna be like, oh, let me support the kids, man.
Yeah, so that's what I'm teaching them, their power into doing stuff that's legal and productive for them and the community, instead of the other stuff that's illegal and unproductive for us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm tapping into their talents, So that, like I say, that's something we could talk about offline. But I definitely, this is part of my mission. That's why I share it on this, even though I have a CEO Youth League page and I'm gonna build that up. But on this Wealth is Gangster, it's like a lot of people do like a podcast, like their podcast YouTube channel. But in my vision, like you'll see, like after this, I'm gonna be doing a history show. Like right now I'm talking about, it's called Out the Box. I'm doing Sundown Towns. So my YouTube channel, basically, I'm building into a network. So I see this on like Roku or whatever them show. I'm building up this YouTube channel where I can present it to a satellite company or something and sell it as a network. It'll be the Wealthiest Gangster. We got the cooking show coming. We got my thrift store, so we're gonna be doing like a reality show. I just dropped.
Do you sleep?
That's what people be saying. I just dropped the video. With me to raise natural living. That's when you'll see my bees, my chickens, and all that stuff. So
Right
and a lot of people be like, man, that's too much. I'm like, but if like I did an episode called Building a Nation. When you building a nation, you gotta do all this. It ain't no I choose to do this or that. See, we so comfortable with society. We just like, I do my job, I pay my bills, and I go home. But if you're building a nation, you got to know about the sewage plant. You got to know about the trash system. You don't have no choice but to know about it. So I don't really look at it as a lot of work. I look at it as my life mission, and that's what drives me. You know what I'm saying?
Right on, man. That's what's up.
So that's why I say I like tapping in with brothers like you, because you got knowledge and stuff. Like I'm good at what I'm good at, but and like I say, I'm into stocks and all that. But I want somebody that's into that to give me more game, because I can tell you a little bit about it. But if you want to know about stocks, let me introduce you to my boy. He can break it down a little better than me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's how I am with real estate. Like I ain't even trying to like jump into that if I don't know it. I have the real estate experts around here. Let's talk. Teach me what I'm doing wrong or not or whatever. So I wouldn't encourage nobody. Don't jump into anything because somebody else says do it. But do what you absolutely understand and that works for you, because there's lots of ways, opportunities, man, to grow financially, but not everything works for everybody. And so because I'm like crypto, I'm not knocking crypto. I don't know it, so I don't even deal with it, get into it, not interested in it or nothing like that, right? I'm just not. So I don't discuss crypto. Like I don't know it. I'm sorry, I can't help you there.
So you got to go somewhere else with that.
But I just do it. I'm comfortable. But I understand electronic vehicles. It's like, hey, I drive a car and I see the future of, cars differently according to what's already in progress. And just, it's out there. The way it's pushing politically. I'm looking at who's leading the way in other countries and who's leading the way in this country. So it's a no-brainer, man. Like, if you're really paying attention, you can really be well off financially these days. So young people, I'm rooting for you because I know you can grab on and get it. I know that.
Yes, sir.
I know that without question.
In closing, do you have any last words or anything? Like I say, we far from last conversation, because I'm about to inbox you my number now, so I need you to text me yours so we can lock in. So as soon as we get off, I'm gonna inbox you my number. But is there any last words as we get up out of here? I gotta go feed my chickens. Speaking of chickens, I gotta, I got a guy yesterday. He came about 12 dozen eggs? 10 dozen eggs.
Okay.
Yeah. So and it's a bakery out of Killeen. They buy 6 dozen a week. So I'm building my little egg empire, man.
Awesome, man. That's what I'm talking about. Well, I just really want to say, man, thank you for taking time and showing interest in what I'm doing. So I appreciate you for giving me this opportunity in this interview to help get my vision out there, and I really support you and yours too. I think what you're doing is definitely gangster, and my last words are go build wealth.
Sir, we're gonna end it right there, man. Well, this is another fire episode of Wealth is Gangster, man. And I appreciate the king, you know what I'm saying? Gerald Reddick, man. Our favorite thousandaire. So we gotta know who that is. Don't let nobody else take that. When you see favorite thousandaire, if it ain't him, then we got a problem. You understand me? We're gonna be tapping in, man. I'm gonna inbox you now, but I thank you for coming on the platform. I think you just sitting down and giving, and I got the chat people up in there talking about great show, and they love everything you saying, and disciplining yourself. So they in there taking notes and everything right now, man. So I appreciate you coming on, and we're gonna keep this going, man. This won't be the last time I have him on. And whenever I can pull him back on her, I'm gonna pull him on, and whenever he got his going on, I'm gonna jump on his channel too, so we can go follow him, and we're gonna keep this thing going, man. But I salute you. I'm about to hit you with my number now. Take you in, and let's keep building on this, King.
All right, man, for sure. Let's do it.
You have a great evening, man.
You too, sir.
All right.